Hi everybody, it's Gilly. It's been just over a month, I think, since my last video where I talked a bit about why I juice every day. And so this is the second video of explaining the kind of things that I do on a regular basis to maintain optimum health and hopefully will prevent my cancer from coming back. So today's video I'm going to talk about the scary thing called coffee enemas, which I still do. Well, I have been doing since pretty much since my diagnosis. So basically from October 2015. I've been doing these every day, so every morning I fit them into my morning routine, sorry. So a lot of friends know that I do this, and a lot of friends have been a bit freaked out or not quite sure why I do them. And obviously the main concern is like, that sounds disgusting, because if no one knows what a coffee enema is, it's having your morning coffee, but instead of drinking it, you put it up your backside and you hold it for about 15 minutes and then you release it on the toilet, obviously. So the reason I do this is because it's a great way to detoxify your blood, and it helps stimulate your liver, which detoxifies your blood, cleans out all the toxins from your blood. So very important when you take medication quite regularly. I even did the enemas during my chemo. The type of chemo that is the standard of care these days is it comes in pill form, and you only take the pills 5 days out of the month. And then you have 2 days of horrible side effects and nausea. I mean, that's what I had. Some people have much worse. But I literally had, like clockwork, 2 days of just hanging my head over the toilet. But then it would stop immediately after those 2 days were done, and I would just turn back to normal and feel absolutely fine. So I can't say it was that bad. I knew when it was coming, I knew when it would end, so it could have been so much worse considering what chemo is. But anyways, because it was only 5 days a month, and the chemotherapy, the drug, has quite a short half-life, so it passes through the body quite quickly. So in between my monthly cycles of chemo, I continued to do my coffee enemas just to get all the toxicity out of my blood in between cycles, just to keep my blood as fresh as possible. Some chemo patients who have cancer won't be able to do that because their chemotherapy regimens will be different and they won't have such a long break, or the chemotherapy drug won't clear the system in time, and it's really dangerous to do coffee enemas if the chemotherapy risks being still in your body, because then it's going to be dragged straight into your liver and could be really dangerous. So it's not advised for some chemo. So you have to be really careful and really make sure that your physician that's looking after you understands the type of chemo drug that you're on, and if it's a good idea or not, because you don't want to risk putting toxic drugs straight through to your liver. Anyway, I survived, and I found it really helped me feel good. I didn't hardly had any side effects, like I just said, with the chemotherapy. I did not do this when I was on chemotherapy and radiation, however, so I only started doing it again once I had finished radiation and was purely just doing the cycles of chemo. So I would recommend it to future brain cancer patients who are put on the same chemo drug as me, which was called Temodar. Most patients, I think nowadays, that's pretty standard. Doesn't make your hair fall out, which was pretty lucky. My hair loss was just from the radiation. As you see, it's kind of growing back now, which is awesome. So today's video is about coffee enemas, so that's a bit about why I did them. It really helped me through my treatment. A few other things that they help with. So if you Google why coffee enemas are beneficial. There are plenty of websites which explain, which list in detail with scientific evidence behind them why they're good for you. If you there are tons of YouTube videos with lectures of people describing their experiences with coffee enemas, how they helped them. So I'm not the only one that they're benefiting. So a few other benefits are they help repair digestive tissue, they cleanse the liver, they improve blood circulation, they increase immunity, they help with cellular regeneration, they help relieve digestive issues such as frequent constipation, bloating, cramping, and nausea. They improve gut health, they improve low energy levels and moods, such as fighting signs of depression. So that's a lot of stuff. I've heard a lot from people who also do them that they help with PMS, so for women problems, it's pretty good. They really help against menstrual cramps. Just really good for pain relief, basically. And actually, before they got taken out of the medical manual, they were used during the war in hospitals a lot to relieve pain in patients. But then it was taken out of the medical manual in about the early 70s, and people have just forgotten about this really miracle, natural way of detoxing the body. And you can do it in the privacy of your own home. You don't have to go to a clinic to have it done. A lot of people think that, it's a bit like a colonic and you should go pay someone to do it for you. But the beauty of this is all you have to do is buy the equipment, set it up at home. Obviously, the first time you do it, you have to, get the logistics right because every bathroom is different. But once you've done it once or twice, then it becomes very easy to do. It's actually quite a relaxing thing to have to do in the morning. You can, I listen to podcasts while I, do mine. Listen to the radio. You can read a book, anything that's relaxing, basically, because you don't want to be tense whilst the coffee's in you, otherwise you're just going to want to explode before your time's up. So you just want to be in a really relaxed position. I'm not going to show you in this video where I do it, but I do have my equipment here that I can kind of show people. So I'm going to go through basically how I do it in a minute. But the other thing that's important to know is what coffee enemas help flush out. Basically, when you do this, there are chemicals in the coffee that stimulate the liver to open up the bile ducts, and then all the toxins can come out much more easily after that. And so a few things that can get flushed out through the use of coffee enemas are bacteria, heavy metals, fungus, and yeast. And it can really clean out your lower intestine, and it's really, really good for you. Some people ask, do you get dependent on these to go to the toilet? The answer is no. I've been doing these continually for a year, and if I don't do a coffee enema for a week, I will still have perfectly normal bowel functions. Actually, it improves bowel function. So if you have, problems going to the toilet regularly, these can really help because it just stimulates everything. So actually, it helps bowel function. It doesn't hinder it. So other benefits also increases antioxidant activity. It's used to fight cancer. There are some natural cancer therapies that coffee enemas are an integral part of. For example, the Gerson therapy. So that mixes juicing with a few supplements with coffee enemas. But for that treatment, it's really full on, and you're doing seven or more enemas per day, whereas for normal people, really you shouldn't do more than one per day, otherwise you can get dehydrated and you lose electrolytes and stuff. So one per day is really optimum, or once a week. But I feel so good doing them on a daily basis, I don't see any reason why I should stop. It improves detoxification, relieves constipation. Okay, I've pretty much gone over everything now. Okay, so I'm now going to explain step by step kind of how I do it in the morning. So I wake up, first thing is in a saucepan I put 2 heaped spoonfuls of the coffee that I use for the enema, so I buy a special type of coffee. You don't have to buy the specific brand that I use, but otherwise you should use an organic, very light roast coffee for enemas. You don't want to be getting some dark type or like a strong roast or anything. So 2 heaped tablespoons into a saucepan with boiling water, bring it to boil, and then you simmer it for 15 minutes on the stove. So during that time I boil up another kettle of water, and then I flush that through the enema kit so that it kind of sterilizes everything before I put the coffee in. So what you need is basically, so you do it in the bathroom obviously. I hang my enema bucket from the back of the bathroom door where there's usually, you know, towel hooks or clothes hooks. So what you need is, this is my enema bucket. I can't believe I'm actually doing this demonstration. So I hang this from the back of my bathroom door. There's this lengthy tube which comes with it, obviously. God, I really have no shame anymore. This is the end of the tube. It has a little valve thing so you can control the coffee coming, how fast it's coming down the tube, because obviously it's a bit of a shock if all the coffee that you've made comes out all at once. So it's good to like control it so you can take deep breaths so more can go in once you've relaxed a bit. You need to check the temperature of the coffee before you put it in the bucket. You have to be able to immerse your hand into the coffee without burning it, because actually inside your butt you can't feel anything if it's boiling hot. And so you could do some serious damage by accidentally putting boiling, like really hot water in there, and then you won't realize that you're actually burning your insides. So you want to make sure that, I usually put the coffee in this jug. You strain it from the saucepan, strain it into here, and then I fill up about a quarter of this with filtered water into the coffee, and that brings down the temperature before I then put it into the bucket. Then when you buy the enema kit, you can either buy, so I prefer the bucket because I just prefer like stainless steel, but you can also buy pretty much in any health food store portable ones. So if you go on holiday, it's much more convenient to pack, although I don't really like using this at all. I just travel with my bucket, even though it's really inconvenient. So they can buy these kind of plastic bag things, and so you pour the coffee in here, and of course to pack that's so much more, you know, efficient. And it comes with the tubes and everything. But anyway, I use my bucket all the time because I've gotten so used to it. You can find a range of nozzles online. The more advanced you get, the smaller the nozzle you can get, but I'm still on my beginner one because I've just got used to it, and I'm not that good at changing stuff once I get used to things. So I use this type of nozzle because I just find it doesn't risk slipping out and then, you know, stuff sprays everywhere. So I prefer using this one. If anyone is really interested, you can ask me like where to buy it, because it took me a while to find this nozzle once I'd originally bought it from the clinic where I was first treated, and then I couldn't find it for ages and then it broke, and then I was like, oh, can't find it anywhere online, and I'd ordered a few and they were all the wrong type, because you want to get like this kind of rubbery silicone-y one, not the ones that made out of hard plastic, because they just slide right out. Not good, pretty. So yeah, so that nozzle goes up your bum, then you can, once the coffee's already in the bucket, you are adjusting the valve and the coffee's coming in, and you want to, once all the coffee is inside you, you want to hold it for about 15 minutes. So put a timer on, and you want to be lying on your right hand side so that the coffee is kind of going into the liver and it's washing out the lower intestine as well. You can get cramps, so you have to learn how to relax and breathe through those. Rub your tummy in a circular direction so things get moving. That usually helps. And then just breathing really gets through it's not painful, I wouldn't say it's painful, but it just feels like a cramp because you're being filled up with liquid, so that's just not, you're just not used to it. But you just need to relax. Helps if you laugh, that really relaxes everything down there. So yeah, when the timer goes off after 15 minutes, you want to be close to the toilet so you can pull out the nozzle. And you can go then to the toilet and release everything into the bathroom. So yeah, that's about it for the coffee enema. I will be coming back hopefully within the next month with a new video for another subject that I want to talk about. Again, any of you can, come back to me with any questions about enemas. Well, I just wanted to answer a few FAQs. So I answered the bit about, do you become dependent on them? The answer is no. It doesn't affect your bowel movements. You don't need to go to a clinic to have one done. It's better to do it in your bathroom. I put down a yoga mat, which I cover with a little blanket, and then I put a big towel on top of that, so it's super comfy. I have a little pillow so I can rest my head on it. And you really want to make it as comfy as possible, especially if you're making it a daily thing. Okay, well, I've raced through that, so hope I haven't grossed a lot of you out. But Google the subject. You'll find a lot of information. I really recommend it. It's cleared up my skin a lot, which I love that. And if I do stop for 2 weeks, I do tend to see my skin getting worse again. So it does definitely have an effect on me in that way. Yeah, so that's about it. So thanks for listening if you did listen to all of this, and I will speak to you soon. Bye!